Hey guys, Jonah here once again with another beer review, and I've I'm 5 beers in tonight. I've been down at the Royston, fantastic place, and Andy, the guy that runs it, was really kind. So I'd had the 4 beers that were on, and he went, "Oh, I'm just about to put a new one on when this other one that I tried comes off." He said there's a few pints left in it. So he goes, "Do you want the one? Do you want to try the one that's coming on next?" So he gave me that one as well. So yeah, really cool. So thank you very much, Andy, from the Royston down in Broadstairs. It's gonna win Pub of the Year again. It's just a really, really nice place. Just a shame it's so small. That's the only thing. It's more of a kind of. It looks a bit like a coffee shop, but definitely a pub. Definitely does beer. Um, does cask. They've got some proper craft beers as well there in cans and stuff. Just really good place. If you're ever down this way, get yourself down there because it's fantastic. Anyway, I'm gonna try anyway to do another Polish beer. Um, and I decided that because I did such a good job of pronunciating, pronouncing the beer yesterday, I'll do another one. It'd be hard not to because I've got 3 of these. So this is the second one. And let's see if it'll focus on there. Trzech Kumpli, Brura, Craft Town, Towie. This is the Oaty one. This is Oatmeal Stout, so it's a dark bad boy. And I like this. It's quite traditional looking. Nice. It says here, we brew what we like. It should say we like what we brew. But anyway, that's how I do it. Maybe that's a northern thing. I don't know. 5.5% on the ABV, so I like that. All the same. So there we go. Oatmeal Stout, the classic English style dark beer with a large proportion. Oh my God, it's all going pear shaped. Of oats. Of course it is, because it's an oat stout, oatmeal. They introduced a characteristic velvety roundness, somewhat like porridge, combining that with notes of nuts and dark malt. Oaty, so this beer, is saturated with nitrogen instead of carbon dioxide, so it should give a nice dense foam with fine bubbles. So yeah, pour it into a glass properly. It says vigorously. It means try and get it in the glass as quickly as you can, and then you'll see the magic happen. The upside down snowstorm, all that kind of stuff. So let's get on to that then. I was going to say it's a bit tight for a dark beer, but that makes sense now because they've chucked it into the old glass. Right, I can't do a pour up here. I'm just going to have to chuck it in. So wish me luck, dear viewer, especially because I'm 7 shakes to the wind. Right, here we go. So you chuck it in as quickly as you can and trust. There we go. Nice. Trust that the glass will do the rest. Wow, I've put a little bit down the side. Look, there's a bit on my finger there. Nice, very nice. Look at that head though, Jesus, that's a king head. I don't know if you can see the little bubbles, the micro fine bubbles, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger until you get to the top, where they're kind of bursting. But look at that head, that's pretty fat. There's a few large bubbles in. I wouldn't be surprised if there's still a bit of carbon dioxide in that bad boy. But yeah, looks really cool. So let me explain, because I had a chat with a local brewer about that down in Gravesend, Iron Pier. They are pretty good. I did a beer series. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what's wrong with you? Go and subscribe, click that bell, have a look through and look for Iron Pier, especially the canned ones that I picked up from the brewery. So there are 2 ways to nitrogenate your beer. There's an easy way and a hard way, and I suspect these guys have taken the easy way. Why I think that is because of those larger bubbles that are kind of at the top there, which kind of, I mean, there are not many of them, but kind of gives it away that there is some carbon dioxide still in the suspension there. So what you do is you brew a beer. Normally put the sugar in or put the malt in to get some sugar. Wait for it to ferment out, so it is not producing carbon dioxide at that state. Sorry, it is. I told you it was going to go a bit wrong. It is producing carbon dioxide as part of the fermentation. And there's always going to be a certain level of carbon dioxide. Then when you transfer it over to your dispensing tank, in this case, a can, but it's probably been in a tank before it's got packaged into the can, then you put nitrogen on it and you try and purge the CO2 out, if you like. It's different if you use gas like Guinness do. They use a cellar gas made of, it's usually sort of between 10% and 30% nitrogen. Nobody really knows with Guinness because it's a bit of a secret, but you can get different mixes. So that means at the maximum you're having 30% nitrogen and 70% carbon dioxide. And what you do is you use that gas to serve the beer in the glass, but in the tank, you're probably not putting nitro on top of it. You can do if you want, but it doesn't really affect the beer. It's more about the serving of the beer, if that makes sense. However, I believe what's happened here, when they're putting it into the can, the canning line is within a sealed nitrogen rich environment, because nitrogen is very inert as a gas. Carbon dioxide is not bad, but nitrogen is the daddy. So these larger places, I'm not saying, what is it, Kumpli, not saying Trzech Kumpli is massive, but if they've got a nitrogenated canning line, that's ridiculous, because it's basically a sealed unit and all you're doing is putting nitrogen in there. So a little bit dangerous for the people working there, because obviously you can't breathe nitrogen, although there's a lot of nitrogen in the air, believe it or not, but you do need oxygen. Anyway, I'm talking nonsense. I should really get on with drinking this beer, but I told you already I've had 5 beers. This is my 6th beer tonight, so chum on. Right, so there we go. There is the beer. Cheeky weeky McLeaky. Let's dive in. Oh, let's go for the aroma first. Why not? I've had a stout before as well, but it was a bit sweet. It was a milk, peanut butter milk stout. There does seem to be a bit of sweetness there, but there's lots of roastness there too. Have they got the ingredients? Did I show you that already, dear viewer? I don't think I did. Let's see if it will focus. Focus, focus, focus. So we've got water, we've got barley, we've got oats, we've got some roasted barley, we've got hops and yeast. So apparently there's no lactose in here. It's got that original extract, which I still don't know what it is. So if you do know, dear viewer, please let me know down below. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, nothing untoward. So no lactose, no weird flavorings. Let's see what we get. Cheers and beers. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. What you get, oh, got that roastiness. It's got that coffee kind of taste at the end, but really nice and smooth. And that's what oats do, but also nitrogen too kind of adds a bit of smoothness. It ties everything together, gives things a lovely mouthfeel. Oh, but this, I would say, is kind of like a coffee kind of stout, or a really dark stout. You can tell by the colour of the head, it's slightly tan, it's darker. This was a Guinness, it would be a pure white head, but because it's darker, that says to me that there's going to be a bit more oomph to it, a bit more raw, a bit more coffee. Little bit of astringency from the malts there, but not too bad. And I don't think they've back sweetened it. I was worried for a second because the beer I had earlier on, and it was a really lovely beer. It was from Northern Monk, for those of you that like that sort of beer. Ooh, it was a peanut butter stout. This is not. This is more dark. This is more raw. This is more what a proper stout would be. This is not a milk stout. I am liking that a lot. And at 5.5%, it's on my good side. The good side of 5%. Oh, that doesn't mean it's a imperial stout. This is just a nice, what would have been called in the old days a stout porter. Really nice. Up around 6%. Oh, lovely stuff. Because this is on the nitro, it's a way of making a beer that might be a bit sort of gnarly, a bit gritty, making it a bit smoother. Oh, there is some residual sweetness. I can feel it on my lips. They're kind of sticking together. Yeah, I don't know if I like sticky lips. Yeah, I prefer juicy ones. Nice. We do have some lines there. They're not totally dead straight, but not too bad. It's weird in stouts. Sometimes you get the bitterness from the malts, and I believe I'm looking over here. This is using American hops. Columbus hops are in here apparently, and they've got quite a unique. It is quite old school. It's a West Coast hop, from what I understand. But this is not about the hops. This is all about the malts, all about the which is really nice. Yeah, I'll go back to my my iron peer analogy, because they had the same beer on, I believe they had it in cans as well, but I didn't try it in cans, but they had it on cask and keg. So exactly the same beer. I think it was even part of the same batch, but it was the dispensing method, and those beers tasted totally different. It was almost like they were a different beer, because they did one through keg, cool, using nitrogen to pull it through, as opposed to the cask version, bit more natural, bit more gnarly, bit more earthy and that sort of stuff. Oh, I like my dark beers. Let's finish this off. Wow, we've gone quite late, but then my intro was quite long, so I apologise for that, if you're still here. Cheers and beers. Oh, that is a really nice beer. If you can get hold of this, and you don't mind your beer being nitrogenated, it is Oaty McOatface, the Oatmeal Stout from Trzech Kumpli. Oatmeal Stout, Oaty. Not sure how many beers I'm going to do in the next few days. Reviews. I know I'm going to be drinking plenty beers, because if you didn't know already, I did mention it, I think about a week ago or so. I'm actually doing some beer judging in the national homebrew competition over in Bristol. So I'm going in there, up to 300 beers. I don't think I'm going to try them all. I don't think I'm that much good over about 20 beers. But I have done some judging before. They don't give you much, though. They only give you a small amount, but it adds up. And I believe they're starting very promptly after 9 o'clock, and it doesn't finish till 6. So 9 till 6, I think with a short period of lunch, which is some sort of chicken, which would be really nice. Don't forget your bottled water. That's what I always forget to do in the past. But having water with you really does help when you're judging beers. And we will see who the best home brewer in the country is come the evening on Saturday. And I've also spoken to a brewery, or a brew pub, I should say, over there. So once I'm finished judging the beers, I'm going to leg it back because it takes about 4 hours to get back to my gaff, which is over right on the east coast, and Bristol's basically on the west coast. So crossing the whole country east to west, and then back again, west to east. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But yeah, I think I'll probably be getting back about 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I've got to get up ridiculously early. Don't ask, dear viewer. Don't ask. It's going to be absolutely crazy. And because of that, I doubt whether I'm going to do any reviews on Saturday. And I'm not sure if I'm going to drink much tomorrow either, because yeah, I don't want to have a hangover and then go to a brewing competition. That would be just unprofessional, as Jono the beer judge. But yeah, that's I haven't died or anything, so don't worry about that. Well, I hope I haven't. But that's why I'm not going to be uploading a video in the next few, well, before about Sunday, I reckon. You might be lucky. I might upload something tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but probably not on Saturday, unless I get absolutely hammered and record a video on the way home. But it will be just a mobile phone type video. So that's probably all you're going to get. If you want to kind of, especially beers that I'm going to be trying, I don't know if the homebrew ones will be on the Untapped, but if I manage to try some of these other beers, why don't you hook up with me on Untapped, and I'll show you what beers I've been drinking in the meantime. You might be quite shocked because I drink more than perhaps I should, but anyway, never mind. Dear viewer, it's been lovely chatting to you. I know this has been slightly longer than my normal videos, and they're reasonably long, but that's purely because that's my 6th beer of the evening, and I'm well on the way. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other. Tell your loved ones that you do love them. And Uncle Jono will return. I know it might be a while, but I will return with another beer review real soon.